Namaste guys, ChristianRLong, life enhancement consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Monday evening. Hopefully each and every one of you had an amazing weekend, got to spend time with friends or family members, or maybe just a little bit time by yourself, meditating, going for a walk in the woods, mountain climbing. Who knows? Anything outside is always good, no matter what it is. And for those of you logging in for the very first time, every single day, rain, sleet, or shine, we do these live streams, typically 15 to 30 minutes, and we cover a topic around energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality to improve the quality of your life and help move your life forward in some area. And I've had the pleasure of sharing these teachings from my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, for over 14 years now, called pranic healing, which is a healing modality, and our Hatha yoga, which is a yoga system, to properly, rapidly, and safely evolve one's little self back to their higher self and ultimately back to God. And so today's topic, I was thinking of this, I covered this many, many years ago, and I thought, oh, this would be a good topic to review, because a lot of you probably haven't heard this before. So many years ago, when I got started in pranic healing, well, I found out about it initially in October of 2003. Amanda! Namaste. So I heard about pranic healing in 2003, and then in March of 2004, I took my level 1 basic pranic healing class. And there's over 21 different classes in pranic healing on all kinds of things and how you can use energy to heal your life, to heal your relationships, to heal your finances, to heal your career, spiritual growth and development. So obviously, there's a lot of things you can do with pranic healing protocol or protocols. And I was very lucky in the beginning, my beginning years of as a pranic healing practitioner, that I had a mentor that lived right down the street from me. And I would go over his house and we would talk about spirituality, meditation, energy healing, yoga, God. We would talk about all these things, and I was like a sponge with him because I had this intense curiosity to know, to understand. Why are we here? What is this all about? What's my life's purpose? How can I live to the greatest capacity that I can live? And so I remember one of the conversations that we were having was based on how there are cities in the United States that correspond to the chakras. Now, for those of you not familiar, chakras in Sanskrit means spinning wheel. It's an energy center that you cannot physically see with your eyes, but certain people have been trained to see it with their clairvoyance. Other people have been trained to hear it with their clairaudience, and other people have been trained to feel it with their clairsentience, feeling subtle energies, hearing subtle energies, or seeing subtle energies. And like anything, it's a skill that can be developed. Some people are naturally better than others. Some people require years and years of practice to get a little bit proficient. And some people, Andrew, Namaste, and some people never reach the point of being able to utilize those abilities. So he was saying to me, there are cities in the United States that correspond to the chakras. And I was like, what do you mean correspond to the chakras? He says, so for instance, the Ajna chakra, which is in between the eyebrows, this is not the true third eye, by the way. The true third eye is right here on the forehead. In Kabbalah, it's called chokma. And in Kabbalah, this is called bina. So this chakra, the Ajna chakra, is known as the master chakra. This chakra controls and regulates, Marcella, Namaste, controls and regulates the energy or prana of the chakras below it. So this is like the big boss, the CEO of the energy body. Now, if you had to think about it, where do you think the command center, the master center, the CEO of the United States is? Right? We have 300 plus million people. We have 50 states. Where do you think the command center state or city of the entire country is? And most people go, Washington, D.C. And I was like, I never looked at it like that way. So Washington, D.C. is the Ajna chakra of the United States because it basically is the command center of what to do and what not to do within our country. The rules, the regulations, the policies, things like that, right? So he goes, so we're continuing to play this game. He goes, so where do you think the throat chakra is? I was like, all right, throat chakra. So throat chakra deals with influence, persuasion, higher creativity, details. Where would the throat chakra be? Aha! Hollywood. Hollywood is the throat chakra. Because the throat chakra is the center of persuasion and influence. So have you noticed the media that comes out of Hollywood tends to influence the rest of the country? Books, music, movies, right? Tends to influence. And then you have all the tech startups, right? Silicon Valley, which isn't too far from Hollywood. What is it? Maybe 8 hours or something like that, but the energy is still there. So it's like, all right, well, Hollywood. So that would be the throat chakra of the United States. Now, what about the heart chakra, right? The heart chakra is love we have for our friends and our family members, and it's this soft, sweet, tender energy. So what do you think the heart chakra is of the United States? And I was like, I have no idea. Couldn't even think about it. Couldn't even take an intelligent guess. I just had no idea. I was like, well, you have the Midwest, and the Midwest is the heartland of the United States. Maybe Kansas, Iowa, I don't know. And he says, San Diego. I was like, San Diego? Really? San Diego is the heart chakra of the United States? And then he explained a little bit about the details as to why that was. So we kept going down the energy bodies. So the solar plexus, John, Abba Namaste. So then the solar plexus chakra, right? So the solar plexus chakra deals with perseverance, drive, ambition, courage, daringness, pushing through obstacles and pushing through resistance. So there's a famous saying, you might have heard it. If you lived in this area, you would have definitely heard it. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Where's that? New York City. So New York City is the solar plexus chakra of the United States. Because have you noticed that if you've ever lived, I've lived in the area, if you've ever lived in the New York City area, in order to be successful at anything, whether it's successful as a Broadway actor, successful in business, successful in a job, successful in art, what must you do consistently and persistently, day after day after day after day? You must pound the pavement. You must make it happen. You must push through all the no's that one can receive. When Sylvester Stallone was pitching the screenplay for Rocky, he got turned down over 1,200 times in New York City. And there weren't even 1,200 producers or directors in New York City. So he went back to these guys over and over and over and over and over again, hoping to pitch the screenplay for Rocky, which I highly recommend typing in Sylvester Stallone getting Rocky made or something like that on YouTube. And the story, it's about 12 or 13 minutes long. It's fascinating. But in the process of him constantly following up and constantly hitting obstacles and roadblocks, he was developing his ability to persevere. He was developing his ability to be constant. He was developing his ability to push through resistance, because whatever it is that you want in life, you're going to have to put effort in to accomplish it. The bigger the goal, the bigger the target, the bigger the objective that you have, the more inner power and daringness is going to be required for you to take that to the next level. So, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Solar plexus chakra, New York City. Now, what about the sex chakra? Sex chakra. Well, let's see. Where do you think the most sexuality is celebrated and demonstrated and put on display in the United States? If you had to think of all the cities and states around the country where do you think the sex energy would be the strongest? So sex energy deals with physical procreation, deals with charisma, deals with comedy, a lower form of entertainment, right? Higher entertainment, throat chakra, lower sex chakra, but they work in conjunction with one another. I'll give you a hint. There was a great flood that affected this place in the early 2000s. Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans. So New Orleans is the sex chakra of the United States, right? Can you think of Mardi Gras and what are the things that happen during that time of Mardi Gras and what are the things that happen throughout the rest of the year? You know what's very interesting about this? That Mother Nature has this brilliant consciousness to cleanse certain parts of the world where there's excess congestion through hurricanes, through tornadoes, through tsunamis, through earthquakes, through volcanic eruptions. Those are ways that Mother Earth cleanses congestion that are in different parts of the world. So, sex chakra, do you think over many, many years of sexual energy, sexual debauchery, sexual expression within the New Orleans area, do you think that it required some cleansing energy? Why not Vegas? I'll cover that in a second. That's a great question. So the sex chakra, energetically speaking, the element that is attached to the sex chakra is water, right? Because when we pee or when a man releases, it comes out in what kind of form? A solid? No. Air? No. It comes out in a liquid form. So the element connected to the sex chakra is water. So when Hurricane Katrina came in, it flooded the entire New Orleans area with salt water. Now, for those of you who've studied energy healing or pranic healing, you know that we use salt water to cleanse our hands during healing protocols. So think about this. If the energy of New Orleans is congested with a lot of heavy sex energy that hasn't been moving properly, so to speak, over several years, Danielle, namaste, the Mother Nature in her brilliance brings that excess water in, cleanses the space, and then pulls the disease-congested energy back out into the ocean where it gets diluted and distributed. Now, some of you may be saying, well, wait a minute, that's a horrible thing to do for Mother Nature. How could Mother Nature destroy billions of dollars of property and thousands of lives because it's trying to cleanse disease-congested sex energy? Well, you have to look at it from a higher perspective, not just your personality or not just for your own limited perspective, right? Because people have the perception that whatever's good for me must be good for the whole, and whatever's good for the whole must be good for me. That's not always the case, because there's individual karma, there's family karma, there's collective karma, there's global karma, there's humanity karma, there's all these kinds of karmas that need to be fulfilled. So in the bigger picture of the purification that happened during Hurricane Katrina, that area got cleansed out. And if I understand it correctly, that economy has been stimulated and they've rebuilt on better quote-unquote ground, on better energy. So Amanda's asking the question, why is Vegas not considered the sex chakra of the United States? It's a very good question. To the best of my understanding, the reason is the energy was, how to put this? The energy has not been grounded and stabilized long enough, meaning throughout different parts of the country and throughout different parts of the world, there's certain energies that pull in certain kinds of energies, or certain places that pull in certain kinds of energies. Las Vegas, the people who were attracted to go out to Vegas had certain kinds of energies within them that attracted them to that location to build up this mirage of a city. So the beings, the energy of that area are still relatively new, right? Because the city's only been around for about 60 years. Hey, Deborah, namaste. The city's only been around for about 60 years, so there hasn't been a tremendous amount of time of building in very mature, very developed energies. Okay? So maybe, because truth is dynamic, and you have law of cycle and law of change, maybe at some point, Vegas could be the sex chakra of the United States. It could be a minor chakra. So again, guys, we have major chakras like the ajna, the throat, the heart. We have minor chakras like the palm chakra in the center of our hands. And then we have mini chakras like the chakras at our fingertips. Now this is all covered in pranic healing. Now, moving on, we have the basic chakra. The basic chakra, which is at the tailbone, which is at the base of the spine, that deals with money, deals with materialization, deals with dynamic activity. So, if you had to think of a place in the country where there's dynamic activity of people making things happen and move, and there's financial institutions, where would you say that would be? Spoiler alert, also New York City. So New York City has the energy of the solar plexus and also the energy of the basic chakra. Both partially dealing with money, dealing with greed, dealing with dynamic activity, dealing with groundedness, right? So do you understand why there's so much growth and development within the New York City area? There's over 8 million people that live in New York City, and it's one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in. Deals with money, capital, dynamic activity, overcoming obstacles and resistance. That's why there's a lot of addictions, because the solar plexus is constantly overactivated in order to overcome the resistance that you have to compete with everybody else. Because you're not just competing with a few hundred people, you're competing with tens of thousands of people, and in some cases hundreds of thousands of people. So your solar plexus needs to be very strong and very activated. So that's why people in New York City tend to walk very quickly everywhere and tend to be stressed out all the time, because those two chakras are on overdrive, moving their purpose forward. Okay? Now lastly, we go, well, wait a minute, you left out one of those major chakras. You never covered the crown chakra. Well, good point. So the crown chakra is the entry point for spiritual energy. The entry point for spiritual energy. So as this chakra becomes more and more activated, you have a greater connection to God, to the great ones, to your teacher, to your higher self, and you're able to access higher intuition, and you're able to see the unity and oneness of you to everyone and everything when this is highly activated and energized. So, what part of the country activates the crown chakra more so than other areas? Anyone? 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 Bueller? Bueller? That would be Sedona. Sedona, New Mexico. Which, that would be a place, have you noticed there's a lot of people that go there for pilgrimages, for spiritual retreats, yoga retreats, meditation retreats, because the area is conducive to spirituality. It's not going to be the place where you go to push, 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 work, 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 make money, make money, make money. It's the place where you go to get spiritually fed, where you go to let go, where you go to expand your consciousness. So, Sedona, New Mexico. Very interesting, right? Now you might be saying, well, wait a minute. You said in pranic healing you guys work with the 11 major chakras and you only covered several chakras. You didn't cover all 11. Well, number one, my mentor didn't give me the formula for each one of them. So, like for instance, the forehead chakra, not quite sure where the forehead chakra would be located in the United States, which is wisdom, right? So maybe think of the place that has the most wisdom, not knowledge, which is throat chakra, but wisdom, knowing through direct perception, clairvoyance. Or what about the navel chakra, or the spleen chakra, or the main chakra, right? So there's other chakras that are part of the collective whole. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't those chakras connected to certain cities in the United States. I just don't know what they are right now. But at the same time, every country has its own chakra system. Actually, every town, city, state, country, province has their own chakra system. So that's why truth is dynamic. And it's to be seen from multiple levels and multiple viewpoints. And it's very interesting because have you noticed when you travel, you tend to have different thoughts, different feelings, and different behaviors than when you're at your house? Because you are literally swimming. Monica, long time, namaste. You are literally swimming in an ocean of energy connected to that place and to those people. So for instance, have you noticed when you go to New York, for those of you who've been to New York, that you happen to go, and you want to go to a museum, you want to go to Broadway shows, you want to do all these things that are specific to that area because it's stimulating that part within you. Likewise, I remember the first time I went to Las Vegas. I've been to Vegas twice now, and I'm a person that typically goes to bed very early and kind of wakes up early depending upon the day. But in general, I go to bed very early because my body's not ready to go to sleep. But I noticed when I went to Las Vegas for the first time, I easily stayed up for 36 hours straight. Easily. Because I was constantly being stimulated by the environment, by the people, by the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions of everyone around me. So that principle just doesn't apply to when you're traveling. Hey Sarah, Atma Namaste. It doesn't apply to when you're just traveling to different cities around the country, but it also applies to the different people and places within your own area that you associate with. So if you hang around with doctors, you're going to be swimming in the medical energy. If you hang around with spiritual people or meditation practitioners, you'll be swimming around in spiritual energies. If you hang around people who smoke or have drug addictions or alcohol addictions or some kind of addiction, you're going to be swimming around in that energy, and that's going to be attaching to you. There's a metaphor in spirituality about you have water, a bowl of water, you have some red dye in the water, and you have a white handkerchief. Now, no matter how fast you are, if you place a white handkerchief in red dyed water and pull it out, no matter how fast, that white handkerchief is going to turn red. It may not be super bright red. Leanne, Atma Namaste. Elizabeth, Atma Namaste. It might not be super red, but it's going to be tinged with red. Even if you wash that white handkerchief many, many times, it's still going to be tinged with red. So it's the same thing when you expose your energy to people, places, and circumstances, you are going to be taking on the qualities of that. So when I moved out to Denver, I never really thought about camping that much, never really thought about hiking that much, never really thought about constantly being outside and doing something until I moved to Denver, Colorado. And then guess what? I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I should be biking right now. I feel like I should be rollerblading right now. I feel like I should go into the mountains this weekend and go hiking on a 14er or the highest peak that I can get my hands on in the shortest period of time. Why is that? Harita, Atma Namaste. It's because I'm swimming in the ocean. Beef, Atma Namaste. I'm swimming in the ocean of Denver, which is influencing me. So again, be very careful with who you associate with and what you associate with and where you associate on a regular basis, because it will influence you. Very interesting thing. I've noticed in my years of running into people and working with people and traveling myself that people that are world travelers tend to have very flexible and very adaptable minds and emotions, because throughout their travels they picked up energy from this place, 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 and they seem to be more holistic and more well-rounded than a person who has never left their own town, that they've been swimming in the thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors of those closest to them in their own town, right? So something to consider, something to think about. I want to jump on and share that with you guys today, that the certain cities in the United States correspond to the chakras. Dan says, you need to come to Australia and come travel with me. I had an amazing time in my own country. I love that. And again, that goes back to the point we mentioned earlier, that have you noticed when you travel, you have thoughts, feelings, ideas, and behaviors that you typically, normally do not have when you are home at your home base. Because again, you're swimming, Naomi, namaste, you're swimming in an ocean of prana that is different than where you grew up, than where you originated. It's kind of like, they say the grass is always greener. You could be living in one of the most beautiful, picturesque mountain towns imaginable, right? That's where you grew up. And you're like, But then you go to the ocean, right? And you see the quartz crystal sand, the big blue waves, you hear the seagulls coming in and grabbing the fish, and it's the most awe-inspiring thing you've ever experienced, because your energy body has become accustomed to that kind of energy in the mountains versus the energy in the ocean. I've had the opportunity to live in the mountains and the opportunity to live right by the beach. I prefer the mountains, but I'm grateful for my experience of living right by the beach. And I didn't even go there that often because my skin is Irish, and Irish people don't tan. We either don't go outside, or we go outside for 15 minutes and we're burned like a lobster. There's really nothing we can do. I don't think they make suntan lotion for Irish people. Like, that would be a really cool niche product, because no matter what SPF they make, 50 or 5,000, still we burn. I don't quite understand it. There's something weird in our skin tone, but I would like to be like one of those people who are like, I'm going to work on my tan today, and they don't put any lotion on. They just go, they sit for 25 minutes, and they come out, and they're all caramelly, golden, beautiful, toasty. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I still look like a sheet. Anyways, so that being said, please feel free to put your topic request in the comment section below of like, hey, this was a cool topic. Next time, can you cover this topic or that topic or this topic or that topic? And then I'll choose which would be the best one. So Leanne says, that's so true. I live on the beautiful Sunshine Coast, but traveled to Bondi, which you sent me the video of, which thank you, I appreciate that. And thought the beach down there was amazing, yet our beaches are just as beautiful, but you take that for granted. Yes, exactly. Now, I've lived in Denver for about 6 years, and a guy I knew, at this point, he had lived in Denver for 15 years, also from Massachusetts. And I said to him, oh, I love the mountains. They're so beautiful. They're so awe-inspiring. They're so expansive. And he said to me, you'll eventually get bored with them. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm going to get bored with them? So I consciously make a choice every week or every month to go into the mountains, to appreciate the mountains, to look at the beautiful aspens. Right now, at this time of the year, this is our fall, the aspens in the mountains are changing from green to gold. And what's really cool about aspen leaves is that they're small and they flicker. So when they go from green to gold and they flicker, it looks like gold coins, millions and millions of gold coins flickering in the wind. So this is a great time to actually go into the mountains and experience that. So I'm super grateful for it, regardless if I'm here for 20 more years or 2 more years, okay? Again, so if you have any topic requests, put them in the comment section below. I'll review them. Also, if you're in need of healing, go to ChristianRLong.com/services. Schedule a distant pranic healing session with me. It will transform your life. I cannot emphasize this enough. I've had so many people who have never gotten a pranic healing session but knew about this for years. They got a pranic healing session. They go, why didn't I do this years ago? And I have clients who saw me regularly, stopped seeing me, then got a healing, and they go, why did I ever stop getting these healings? Because they are soul transformative. They are life transformative, right? Everything is energy. So as you affect your energy, you affect everything in your life. Okay, so go to ChristianRLong.com/services. That's my, what is it, shameless promotion. I have no shame in what I do. Actually, it's kind of funny. I've been in sales for about 20 years, and I've sold all kinds of things, but something dawned on me several years back, and I said, you know why I wasn't super successful in all the other things that I sold and why I'm successful in pranic healing? Is because I didn't 100% believe in what it was that I was doing with, or the other products or services that I was selling. They delivered a result, people got what they paid for, but in my core there was something missing. And that's why it's so easy for me to sell healing, to sell transformation, to sell personal and spiritual growth and development, because I know this work speaks for itself, and by impacting one person, you not only impact that person or that person's family or that community, but ultimately the world at large. So I'm extremely grateful for the work that I do in sharing it with the world, one person at a time. So if you're in need of healing, definitely reach out at ChristianRLong.com/services. And that's about it. So do you guys have any questions, comments, challenges, things you need clarification on while we are on? Ooh, silence. Be aware of the silence. Go into the silence. Oh, you can like this over here. That's kind of cool. Bam. No questions. All right. I will let you guys go. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for sharing your energies with the group. May the good karma come back to you and your family many, many times. Please share this on your personal and or professional Facebook page if you receive benefit out of it. Dominic, namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. You'll have to watch the replay. Hopefully you get tremendous value out of it. Thank you, Leanne. I will take care. Actually, instead of taking care, I take responsibility. Love you guys very much. This is Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant. Have a beautiful Monday, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.